From the point of view of teaching nurses and midwives, I know how much sexuality issue is off the radar in clinical practice, and especially around end-of-life care.
People think, oh, you've got equality, you've got gay marriage. What's the problem? There's no problem anymore. You're just like everybody else. Why do you need special treatment? You're just like everybody else. Try telling that to an elderly man who's been beaten up by his so-called carers.
Most of the time, if we're faced with somebody being homophobic towards us, we can walk away, we can fight back, we can, take legal action or whatever. These people are in this room and you're there, and the person who attacked you last week is in your room with you by yourself, no witnesses, doing whatever they want.
You're much more sensitive when you're gay already because you're forever aware that things might go the other way. So you're trying to avoid, to let that person go into the negative side.
The cancer had sort of rampaged back in a really aggressive way. And at that point, we knew then that that meant that Gabby was going to die. The only bad experience I had was with the funeral directors. So when she died, one of the first things I did was phone them, and I explained my wife had died. So on the Monday morning, I got a call from them to say how sorry they were that my husband had died.
I am Chinese and Tim is English or British, white, and I'm Chinese. They automatically think I might be a carer as well. But anyway, very soon they realized I wasn't a carer, but his partner.
I talked to her at length about why this was making this sort of assumption was a big mistake and you had to be more careful. And she said, I won't do it again. Then in the afternoon, somebody else rang me and did exactly the same thing from the same company.
Steve wasn't out in the way that we might consider being out. I got a call on my mobile and the caller identified themselves as the doctor from the Greenwich and Bexley Community Hospice. His diagnosis is terminal, he's only got a few weeks to live. But the good news is he doesn't have to pay for his care. I was speechless. I mean, it was a shock. Being told that he was going to die, he'd only had a few weeks to live. And that was the first time it had been confirmed to me. I think I didn't give them a chance to go any further before they regretted what they said. I think it's a good thing that if you feel that somebody's about to say something is going to be derogative or negative or being rude, if you can, in a way, to trying to say something to dilute that atmosphere, basically, yeah.
Sometimes, you give people a bit of space and they hang themselves in it, but we never ever gave them that. So she always introduced me as her partner and I always went to everything.
If someone said to me, David, what does your wife do? Straight away, it's a heterosexist question and it's putting the onus on me. And if I wasn't feeling well, if I was in a hospice, for example, feeling unwell, then the first impression I might get is, oh, blimey, they're a bit closed-minded, and therefore it's not the most comfortable place to be in.
The assumption is you're heterosexual unless you say otherwise, which is all very well if you've still got a voice, if you're still able to communicate. What happens if you're not able to communicate?
No, his memory was going. He was forgetting things that you wouldn't expect someone to forget. I had booked for him to go into the King's Hospital to have a stent put in his heart. He was due to stay there, until he recovered from the heart operation. First
I heard Noel had been discharged from hospital without Ted's involvement or consultation. They just told him, oh, we've sent him to such a care home in Croydon.
Noel was walking along the corridor with some other residents in the home, and the two suspect staff, one of them said, "Are you a gay man? Do you like gay men?" And apparently they dragged Noel into his room and everyone could hear for about 5 or 6 minutes Noel being beaten up in his room.
I think we have to watch out for people who have that extreme beliefs and it's going to harm anybody.
The Nursing and Midwifery Code of Conduct says that all forms of discrimination must be challenged.
They suspended the 2 people for 2 weeks and then brought them back to work.
When they decided there was nothing they could do in the hospital, they were going to refer Tim to the end-of-life care. And they consulted me, they talked to me, and yeah, everything was very, very well done. Yeah, we were around his bed when he died. Yeah, and you will never forget that. You will never, you see that person slip away and peacefully. That's good.
Gabby and I talked about her dying. She got me to film her. She wanted me to put it on Facebook. And what she did is she addressed anyone who might have looked at that and said that she was dying and that she would die in a couple of days. And she wanted people to know that this was not a scary experience.
Hello, everybody. I'm in St Christopher's. I'm eating my lunch, which is poached hake, as you can see. It's absolutely delicious. I'm dying. I'm going to die in the next few days. Doesn't seem to alter the fact. It doesn't seem to affect my appetite at all. So I'd like you to see how healthy I am.
Been with my partner for 30 odd years, and then unfortunately that life journey finished through cancer. We agreed that the partner would go into the Bexley and Greenwich hospice. The staff very respectful. They knew we were a gay couple, they knew we were together, had been for a number of years. I went in the afternoon and he was on oxygen and whatever, which he hadn't been. So again, it was made really clear that, that he was deteriorating and that, that he would have about a week left. And I can remember just taking myself out and just going into a little room and just like breaking down. And, but the staff was really supportive. And it was at that time I said, right, partner always wanted to get married. And I thought, right, what can I do? Is this, this final wish sort of thing. So the hospice was trying to coordinate the background thing of, what the ceremony would look like. And we, obviously we had the champagne there, we had the cake, and so we could share and all that. And we sort of celebrated with everybody. And it probably wasn't what we'd all ever planned to have done, but do you know what? It was so simple, it was so memorable, and and the staff were brilliant.
There are good care facilities out there. There are good hospices and good care homes.
There should be training specifically for staff in care homes to deal with special issues that matter to LGBT people.
It's still that lesbian, gay, bisexual that they often focus on and miss out the trans.
You'd have to be an exceptional care home to actually treat a trans person properly. They're not used to it. They're not thinking about this,
And if the practitioner thinks, I haven't got a clue what that means, so they can say, well, what does that mean to you then? So start finding out, but it means they still have to go out and find out more about it themselves.
From an agency's point of view, sussing out very quickly, those nuances and those dynamics of a relationship.
I'm going to describe myself as next of kin, and that's good enough. If anybody doesn't understand what that means, they could ask if they need clarification.
So say, for example, with decision making, to make sure that my husband was involved in all sort of decision making, because that's what would normally happen when somebody was in a partnership.
We shouldn't have to get a solicitor involved to ensure our legal rights.
And when you treat a dying person, you treat the whole family. So no different from the gay partner or friends, to be quite honest.
So say, for example, if they have got posters around the place or leaflets, make sure that there's a full inclusivity of leaflets and posters that represent LGBT people.
If I was on my own, I still would want it recognised that I was a gay man and that I had a life and I had a history and I had experiences of a life.
People are bringing different cultures, different thought patterns, different religions, different life ways with them. So bringing that into the melting pot, and especially in a safe environment, which you hope healthcare is going to be, that should be a wonderful opportunity to explore and to celebrate the diversity amongst us all.
Well, we should treat everybody the same, especially as a caring profession. There shouldn't be any borders, any difference, really.